Hi there, my name's George and I am a record collector. I've been collecting for well over a quarter of a century now and I'm quite an addict. So the reason I'm making this video is that during the pandemic over the last 2 odd years, I got into YouTube in a big way. I really enjoyed watching other people's videos, talking about their records. There seemed to be a lot more of it during that time and I just wanted to actually do it. It's taken me a while to actually get round to it and pluck up the courage to do it, but here I am. So I'm not going to go into too much history about myself now. It is just an introduction video, and I'm going to show you a few records just to kick off, and we'll see how we go from there. So what I'm going to show you is just 4 records that I've picked out to listen to this weekend. Today being Saturday, I do most of my listening at the weekends, so and today is no exception. I'm not going out anywhere, so I shall sit down in a bit and chill out to these. So let's have a little look. So the first album is by a band called If. This is their 4th album, aptly titled If 4. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's got a beautiful foil sleeve. Now if you look at it close up, it actually plays on your optics quite a lot. It does your eyes in, but it's got a nice gatefold. I'll open up. And this is an original UK pressing on United Artists. Let's get that up right. Is that up right? I don't know. There we go. My first time. So musically, they are what you would call a jazz rock band. They've got a couple of horn and woodwind players in. This particular album is a live in the studio album, so it's not like what you call a traditional live album that utilises music up to that point. It is just recorded live in the studio, it's exclusive material. It's very, very high energy, quite raw as a result. The opening and final track are kind of lengthy jazz rock fusion instrumentals, really superb, really well played. The rest of the album, the tracks in between, are probably more commercial sounding, but nonetheless very, very good indeed. You could probably put this in the prog rock category. I think you could pigeonhole a lot of things I'll show him as prog, but there we go. But yeah, definitely more on the jazz rock fusion side, that one. The next one was quite a recent purchase, and I was absolutely delighted to get this at a record fair. This, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. The band is called Sindlefingen. The album is called Oggipig. So if I'm mispronouncing that, then try and let me know somehow. So this is a reissue. Originals of this, it's actually a private pressing from 1973. So originals are not just rare, they are nigh on non-existent or impossible to find. Funnily enough, the dealer I got this from at a record fair in Chichester, he told me that he got several of these from one of the band members as reissue, but he did actually have an original. He said it was a battered copy, but the actual band member had provided him with an original copy, which is quite remarkable. But I'm delighted to have this because this is actually long out of print. There's hardly any for sale on Discogs, and it really is a quality reissue, this one. And there are 2 versions, and I've got the coloured vinyl version, which is this dark pink, and it is a very nice pressing. Musically, it is very, very hard to pin down. In the liner notes, or liner notes, of the album, the band apparently do not like to be classed as folk rock, even though they are kind of folky. But the music itself throughout is actually quite unpredictable. It can start with some sort of classical finger picking style stuff, which is folky, and then it just goes heavy all of a sudden, and then just kind of back to as it was. It's very unpredictable, very disjointed, quite unique sounding really. I really like it. It's highly recommended if you can get a copy. So there we go. Next up, we've got Status Quo with their album Quo. Now, I think Status Quo get a lot of bad press. Really, I actually think they're a bit misunderstood. I'm no exception with that, because for many years I kind of disregarded them. I never actually disliked them, but I just wasn't interested. It was only during the pandemic that I was recommended Quo on one of the Facebook groups that I belong to, music Facebook groups, and I was talked into getting some. So I did, and I thoroughly enjoy them. And this particular album is, out of the ones I've got so far, it really is very heavy. There's not too much of the kind of typical boogie rock that they're associated with. There's a lot of hard riffing, great guitar interplay. It's highly recommended, as are the band during their early years. I'm not so interested in sort of everything after sort of the late 70s onwards, the 80s stuff. That I probably will avoid. But from about 1968 to 76, they are a fantastic band. So this one is just an original UK press. It's got the original poster, and it is on Vertigo. It's not the Swell label that had long finished by then. It's known as the UFO or the Spaceship label. Very cheap and easy to find if ever you fancy taking the plunge. Most record shops will have their albums in, and it will probably cost no more than £5 UK for a decent copy. So that comes highly recommended. Finally, we have this. This is a band called The Box. It's a mini album called Great Moments in Big Slam. This one I got in a record shop in Chichester quite a few years ago. They tend to have a lot of indie, post-punk and new wave kind of stuff from the early 80s. A lot of it I haven't actually heard of, but it's always very cheap and it always looks interesting. So this, like many of those, was actually a blind buy. So I picked it up. I think it probably was about, it would have been less than £5, £3, £4, £5, I can't remember exactly. And it's very good. It's quite brash sounding. It's a new wavy kind of sound. It's actually got a saxophone player, quite sort of raucous vocals. It's a short album, I said mini album. It's only 4 short tracks on each side, so it comes in at under half an hour. And that's it. But I haven't played it for some time. I can't really remember what the songs sound like, so I'm going to give it another spin. I remember liking it, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it this time. So there we have it. Short and sweet. Not much more to say. If you're watching this now, it means I'm happy with the video and I've successfully uploaded it to YouTube. And if I've done that, then more than likely there are going to be more videos to follow with a lot more content and a lot more, hopefully, interesting albums. So if you are watching this now and you fancy seeing more, then please like the video, please hit subscribe. I'll try and get the ball rolling and see how this goes. So thank you very much for watching. See you soon.